Hi, everybody. Shabri Bird, Quantum Agriculture, here at the Southeast Biodynamic Conference in Red Boiling Springs, Tennessee. And I'm sitting here with Steve Diver, one of our dear old friends and a massive supporter of biodynamics. 35 years or so, at least.
Something like that.
Old member of BD Now, Chat Forum.
That's right.
And gave, I must say, a wonderful talk at Acres last year. Well prepared. Thank you on biodynamics.
Thank you, Shabri.
Yeah, so what do you want to say? What do you want to tell us about? What's up?
Well, it's nice to be here at the Southeast Regional Biodynamic Conference. So, this started actually at Hugh Lovell's farm in Georgia,
It did.
This is how many, 32 years?
I think he said 32nd year.
It's 32nd year, yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I've been coming down to Jeff Poppins' farm for, I don't know, a few times over the last 6 years, speaking and networking, seeing what's going on. So here's an interesting thing. When you're on the speaker circuit, you get to share some neat things that are going on that you can share and teach, that you've been exposed to, but you also get to be where other people are presenting and learn from other people. So
yeah,
that's great.
We're all synthesizing.
That's right.
So you've come up with an interesting system. It seems very similar to quantum agriculture, and the name of your system is your weekend workshop, you told me?
Oh, weekend workshop. Oh, that's holistic gardening.
Holistic gardening.
Yes, holistic gardening. So I have done this workshop on the weekend in several places. We did it up in Washington State, outside of Seattle, down outside of Portland. It's a one-day, all-day long workshop. We can do it that way. Also do a 2-day workshop and teach gardening, real practical gardening skills. But I kind of frame it as the 3 pillars of eco-agriculture. It's real similar to biodynamics, and that is minerals, biology, and energy. So go through
basically what quantum agriculture is.
How to build garden beds, how to grow transplants, how to make compost teas, microbial inoculants, and have really healthy plants, very abundant, very beautiful building aesthetics into the garden design, and then weaving in this energetic component. So that would include biodynamic preparations, structured water, agrohomeopathy. It's like a toolbox.
Yeah, and dowsing.
And dowsing, yeah. Yep. So you expose people to the tools and the concepts, and they can use them. But I try to convey it in a practical way with some scientific underpinnings, right?
Very well. Now, please, just speaking of which, tell us what you do right now for your day job.
Okay, so now I'm the farm superintendent at the horticulture research farm at University of Kentucky. So that's 100-acre research farm. We grow fruits and vegetables, greenhouse and nursery crops, do biofuels there. We have both conventional and organic research. We have 30 acres certified organic, so people can plug in either way. And again, it's options. Faculty, graduate students can plug in, do research which way they are interested. And in addition, we have a working farm there. We have a UK CSA that produces for about 225 members.
Really?
So we have 10 acres of production underway.
Wow.
So it's a very busy, very dynamic farm, lots of students involved, a lot of visitors. We have one of the premier mechanized organic weed control systems in the country that's put together by the faculty there and staff. They have built some implements there on the farm and put together a whole system of weed control, that sort of thing. Yeah.
And do you use biodynamics at that, or are there research going on into biodynamics?
The answer is we don't have research on biodynamics there. That would be down the road. I'd say, down the road.
Yep.
And again, I'm in a service role, so I'm providing support for what people bring to the farm. And so, if it's faculty, graduate students, etc., they're deciding what the research is. And
we know you from ATRA. That was your...
ATRA, actually, yes. It's actually NCAT, National Center for Appropriate Technology, that sponsored the ATRA Sustainable Ag Research, a Sustainable Ag Information Center. So we usually call it NCAT ATRA, but yeah, I was there for many years, and that's when I got on the speaker circuit and was at Acres USA when you show up, and we continue the conversation.
And George Cooper we got to see recently
Right.
at the Psychotronics conference.
Right, George.
Yeah.
George Kepper, one of the really unique guys working in agricultural radionics, who's not well known but is a very solid scientist, practitioner kind of guy, who has written 2 books on agricultural radionics and has had a consulting service for many years. And he's done this for many years. George Cooper.
Oh, George.
George Kepper. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he did that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was managing a blackberry farm for the Carr Center for Sustainable Agriculture in southeast Oklahoma, and somehow came across radionics, and probably like a lot of people thought, well, this is kind of odd, for ag science, but he went to some seminars and got it going and had enough results to really pursue it. And he's, like I said, he's written 2 books on it, and really
very good books too,
yeah.
I will say.
Right.
Oh, helicopter, interesting. And so what do you see is going on with the growing of cannabis?
Cannabis, well, that is a funny thing, because in Kentucky we have support from the ag commissioner, from the governor, all the way to the university level for the 3 vices. In Kentucky we like horse racing, bourbon, and cannabis.
Yeah, but this is hemp.
This is hemp cannabis. It's industrial hemp.
Hemp for fiber and fabric.
It is cannabis sativa. It is exactly the same plant. It looks the same, smells the same. It's the same plant. However, it is a strain with a low THC level. It is distinguished from what they call medical cannabis because it has a very low and defined level of THC, and so that's become very big. Kentucky is the heart of historically is where hemp was centered. There were 3 counties in the Lexington area where over 85% of all the hemp in the country was grown at one time. And so there are 3 big markets for hemp. There's fiber, seed, and floral.
Yep.
So fiber is the big one for clothing and for paper. You can make good quality paper and books that does not fade for 100 years. It's still very good quality paper. Seed includes seed to grow other hemp crops. The hemp seed oil, the hemp meal, the hemp hearts, all that comes from the seed.
And it's still a great bird seed.
Yeah, it's a good bird
seed. So, by the way, how do they keep the birds off of it?
You can't. They come for it. You got to net it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Just like in Australia, everything's netted. Yeah.
And then the floral is the female plant that's grown for CBD, and CBD is what's driving hemp, the resurgence of hemp. Probably 90% of the acreage that was grown in Kentucky this year was geared to CBD hemp. So a lot
that's just switched over recently from fiber to.
Oh yeah, CBD is the big driver.
So what I see is the market's going to crash.
The market will correct. We think that.
Thank you. Correct is a better word.
That there'll be an adjustment.
Yeah.
A lot of people are growing it. Now, I'll just share another observation about hemp is that hemp over the last, say, 20, 30 years in the popular literature has been touted as a miracle crop. It's going to save the planet because it's going to save forest, and it's going to, you can replace plastics, you can build cars out of it. Yeah, exactly. But let me tell you, in reality, hemp is a finicky crop. It is very tricky to grow hemp from direct seed in the field. The seed germinates slowly. It's actually a fruit, not a seed. The seed has to emerge from this, and so when you put it in the field, it emerges slowly, and so therefore early season weed control is a very big challenge. You have to have a very good system of figuring out how you're going to control the weeds early on, and then once you get the plant up to a certain height, you get canopy closure. It's an excellent crop. It's very, very, it can fight weeds on its own because it grows very fast and it has shade and canopy closure. But so that's tricky, and so especially on CBD hemp, there's 2 angles that people are doing. One is people are doing feminized seed. They're feminizing the seed by spraying the plant foliarly in the year before with silver nitrate and sodium thiosulfate, and that makes the seed come out feminine. And we have a trial there this year that over 99% of the plants that came up were female. So that's number one. The second one is just to take cuttings off of a female mother plant and do cloning, and that's.
And it's also very expensive. It seems people pay a lot of money.
People are doing their own, buying some. Yeah, everybody wants to charge. Everyone wants to make money off of it.
Okay, so we were talking last night about what is happening in the change of laws about organic and GM. You said something about.
Well, there's some news about some, I don't know, government entities or industry spokesmen who are now suggesting that genetically modified or genetically engineered crops have a place in organic. So obviously the organic,
and what do you think?
Well, obviously I don't agree. The organic community does not agree. Flat no.
I know. And what about the difference between soil-grown and hydroponic cannabis?
The organic, well, let's just say organic in general. Okay, so the USDA, NOSB, National Organic Standards Board had a recent, I don't know, over a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, big kind of vote and decision to go along with organic hydroponics. And so there's certainly a group of businesses that want that. There's also a group of traditional soil-grown organic farmers that don't agree with that. So that one is a stickler. Also, some of the dairy farms that are operated like really more like a regular CAFO than an organic operation where the cows have access to grass pastures, etc. Those are big sticking points in organic right now. That's for sure. So there is a real food movement that has come up, and